Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video on XLM. But before I get started, please click the like and subscribe button as it helps this channel grow very quickly. So, we're looking at XLM. It's sitting here under 13 cents still. And at this price, it's still a steal of a deal. So let's take a look at why. So you know it's bad when XRP backers have to attack XLM. It's pointless since it will not affect the outcome whatsoever. The lumen will literally be the masonry cement of the new financial system. That is why Stellar symbol is actually two Masonic trowels in opposition. Now here's the thing. If you're an XRP holder, I believe you should even hold some XLM. If you hold XLM, you should hold some XRP. You should diversify a little bit and hold a little bit of each of the ISO 222 tokens. You don't have to be infighting. My coin's better than your coin. This coin's going to do this and this coin's going to do that. They're all going to play a very key role in the new financial system. Each cryptocurrency will do its own thing. And people will still argue all the time. People tell me that XLM has no future. It's ridiculous and it's laughable. But I don't argue with them anymore. I gave up on it. Know what you hold. XRP and XLM use cases are not fostered in the same way. Stellar sells XLM, Lumens, on centralized exchanges and is the only source of revenue for the Stellar Foundation. To also be clear, Stellar is currently not a fork of the XRP ledger. Stellar is its own entity, and it's doing its own work. It has its own use case. It has its own utility. I buy a little bit of each of the ISO tokens because I want to have a little bit of each. I believe each one of them is going to play a specific part, as I said. So what I want to do is I know they're all going to be able to give me passive income of some sort. Some may be better than others. Some may be more valuable than others. I still believe XLM is going to be just as valuable as XRP. And I think it's going to handle just as much of the money. You got to remember, retail and person-to-person payments is going to be very big. Sure, the amounts might not be the size of bank transactions from bank to bank, but it could be a lot more transactions being handled, which can add up to the same amount of value. So USDC is the Stellar asset used to cash in and cash out with MoneyGram. XLM tokenizes all assets on the Stellar network. XLM must be owned to hold and move assets on the network. Its primary use case and utility is facilitating millions of transactions per day. So let's say, for instance, you do a bank transfer with XRP from one bank to another bank. Say it's just $1 million. But say 1 million people send $10 to another person. Now, that would be $10 million. So you see where I'm going with this? You don't know how much money XLM is going to handle. You don't know exactly how much money XRP is going to handle. That's why I said you should have a little bit of both. It doesn't hurt to hold a little bit of both. And right now, at these prices, why not? Because I believe you don't really need to hold a whole lot of any of these cryptocurrencies to become rich very soon. And then we see this. Smart contracts are coming to the Stellar XLM network later this year. Why are smart contracts coming later this year? Could it be because ISO 222 is coming later this year also? That's probably where they're going with this statement. What is the purpose of holding XLM then, if the liquidity is all through the stable coins? And it is just a way for Stellar to raise funds. I don't understand the use case. Think about it like this. When you're sending money from one person to another person and you're using Stellar, You're using XLM to convert one currency into another currency. The value is going to go up. It's not going to be a stable coin. It's going to move all the world's money. Just it's going to move it from individual to individual and probably retail also. So Federal Reserve announces reserve banks will be adopting ISO 222 as their new messaging format. In case you forgot which assets are ISO 222 compliant, we take a look here. And remember, I told you, and I always tell you, if your cryptocurrency is tied to IBM, you are about to become rich. And what do we see here? Stellar. We see Ripple, IOTA, XFin, and Algorand. But what do we see in here also? IBM. And IBM is the key. If your cryptocurrency is tied to IBM in any way, I'm talking HBAR, Casper, those are also going to be ISO 222 compliant, in my opinion, because of their ties to IBM. I believe Stellar is going to be massive, though. I believe Stellar is going to surpass a lot of these cryptocurrencies in price in the future. Stellar is built with the premise of avoiding Bitcoin's limitations. It has a brighter future potential. It's not surprising that a giant like IBM has tied up with Stellar. The IBM and Stellar partnership goes beyond just technical implications. And that's the thing. Like I just said, if your cryptocurrency is tied to IBM, it's very important. It's going to be massive. And I feel that any Bitcoin maxi out there is hurting the retail investor because they're getting new investors to come in on the idea that Bitcoin has a huge upside potential to it. But think about it like this. If you buy one Bitcoin right now, and Bitcoin makes it to $100,000 like people are predicting, that's a 5x. Think about if you bought Stellar XLM right now at 12 cents and you bought 1,000 of it, and it does a 50x from here, which I believe it easily does a 50x. Think about how much money you would make. Think about, as a new investor, how happy you would be instead of buying one Bitcoin and hoping for a 5x return. And just because you bought one Bitcoin and you made 80 grand, think about how much you can make off of XLM. Think about it right now, if you were to just invest $1,000 into XLM and say it surpasses 50x. We don't know. We can only speculate where utility takes this token. So say it does a 200x and you made $200,000 off of a $1,000 investment. Think about it like that. I believe Bitcoin maxis are taking everyone down with them. I think that, now this is just a thought, and follow me on this. I'm not saying this is fact in any way. But what if the the institutional investors pulled out of Bitcoin already, driving the price down to $20,000? And the only money left in there right now is retail investors' money. Because I think the institutions know where to put their money. I think they know which assets, which cryptocurrencies are going to take off very soon. So say $20,000 is just retail investor money. And from here, it goes down even further and doesn't bounce back. You don't know if it could bounce back. You don't know if $100,000 Bitcoin is even going to happen. It's speculation. It's speculation based on previous market cycles. That's why I don't like Bitcoin. It's too risky for me to invest in it. Because I could see a future with XLM, with XRP, with XDC, with IOTA, with QNT. I could see the future. I could see it because all the maps show it. Everything I just showed you shows me where the new financial system is going and what cryptocurrencies are going to be involved. So I feel that is a safe bet. I feel a safe investment there. With Bitcoin, you don't really know what's going on. People didn't even think Bitcoin was going to go down to $20,000 originally. They thought it was just a pullback and that it was going to skyrocket back up to 100,000 once it came down from 69,000. That's why I talk a lot about ISO 222 on this channel. That's why I talk about these assets. I don't talk about Bitcoin because I don't want to see someone come into crypto thinking, okay, I'm in crypto because I want to get rich tomorrow. That should never be your thought process to begin with. But I don't want to see someone come into crypto, invest in Bitcoin, and get totally wrecked in it because it didn't do whatever anyone was predicting it to do. And I feel it's safer for me to talk to someone new about these coins, about where these coins are going in the future, because I can actually give them proof of it. If I can't prove where an asset is going, and I can't prove the utility or the use case, I really don't talk about it. The only other asset I talk about on this channel is Luna. And the only reason I talk about Luna is because I believe in their community over there. And now they're starting to get some use case, and who knows, maybe it'll be an F asset on Flare somehow. I have no idea. But I do that just to support that community and their belief system. But I would never tell someone new to invest in Luna. I just point out what's going on and what their community is about. With these assets, such as XLM, I could actually tell a new investor, you're making the right purchase, you're buying the right crypto, and here's why. So let's continue. IBM Blockchain, Cloud Satellite, Hyperledger Fabric, Stellar Partnership. Again, IBM, Stellar. And if you look at this, there's IBM, tying it all together. And you'll see that on every single one of these. There's IBM, again, tied to all of the same cryptocurrencies. And we know this is what's coming. We know this is what's being built. So how can you not see that XLM is not a scam? If you believe it's a scam, there's only two reasons you could honestly believe that. Reason number one, you're not invested in it, and you're invested in something that could possibly do what XLM does. Or you know the potential of XLM, and you just don't want anyone to make money off of it. That's the only two reasons I could ever believe that anyone would call it a scam, ever. One of these cryptocurrencies has 100x potential this year. Stellar, XLM, Parity Coin, and Harmony One. I could tell you right now it's not Parity. XLM will probably do 100x. Proof of work don't work. XLM Stellar Network for instant transactions, XRP on-demand liquidity for cross-border settlement. Right there is the whole reason you should invest in XLM. Right there is the whole reason you should not be infighting with the people that invested in XRP. And the XRP investors should not be fighting with the XLM investors, because they both have a lot of utility, a lot of use case, a lot of upside potential. With that said, I'm going to wrap up today's video. I want to thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.